There's a side of Thailand that millions of tourists never truly understand. It's not the postcard beaches, the glitzy rooftop bars, the historic temples, or the idealised fantasy you see on YouTube. I'm talking about the world that exists underneath the neon lights. A world where loneliness becomes business and fantasy morphs into severe emotional dependency. It's a subculture where foreign men slowly lose their money, their identity, their relationships, and sometimes even themselves. Now, before people get emotional in the comments section and start smashing their keyboards to death, let me make something very clear. This video is not a blanket critique of Thai women. To say all Thai women are bad would be ridiculous. There are countless genuine Thai women, happy relationships and successful marriages across the country. Instead, this video is about something much bigger. It's about a system. It is a structured ecosystem involving loneliness, money, fantasy, nightlife, and human psychology. What happens in the Thai nightlife scene is often far deeper than foreigners realise, and the dangerous part is that many men don't even notice they're falling into the trap until years later. Now, the truth that nobody talks about is that a lot of men don't arrive in Thailand in a healthy mental state. Many step off the plane divorced, lonely, burnt out, or simply feeling invisible back home. This is especially true for older men. A man can spend years in the West feeling unwanted, ignored, and financially drained. Then, suddenly, he lands in Thailand. Overnight, women are smiling at him, people are exceptionally polite, and he suddenly feels respected, interesting, and masculine again. He feels alive. That emotional contrast is incredibly powerful. And this is where many men make their very first mistake. They mistake that sudden surge of attention for genuine love. In reality, what they're experiencing is emotional escapism. After years of emotional starvation, that sudden validation hits the brain like a drug, especially in a nightlife environment specifically engineered to engage customers on an emotional level. Most foreigners completely misunderstand what nightlife in Thailand actually is. They think it's random, organic fun. It isn't. It's a highly structured business, and the women working there operate under economic pressures most tourists never stop to consider. Thailand has some of the highest household debt levels in Asia. Many of these workers are supporting parents, grandparents, children, and siblings, while managing land payments or motorbike loans. Many entered the industry following a cycle of poverty, broken families, or a lack of educational opportunities, simply because nightlife pays far more than a standard local job. Reality is complicated, but this dynamic creates a highly volatile emotional environment for a foreign tourist. The bar isn't just selling drinks, it's selling an emotional experience. The girl laughs at his jokes, touches his arm, looks into his eyes, and tells him he's a handsome man. For many of these men, that may genuinely be the most affection they've received in years. And that's the tragic part of the system. It's not because the people involved are monsters, but because prolonged loneliness makes human beings incredibly vulnerable. Now, every long-term expat in Thailand knows this stage. It always starts with the classic line, "She's not like the others." It's the absolute Thailand starter pack dialogue. The man hears what he wants to hear. She hates the bar work. She's only doing it temporarily. She doesn't go out with customers anymore, and she just wants a normal life with a good, generous, handsome man. And while that may occasionally be true, the foreigner immediately begins psychologically separating her from her environment. He no longer sees a bar worker, he sees a future wife. Now, that shift changes everything. He stops viewing the situation logically and starts investing, first emotionally and then financially. And once money and deep emotions combine, human behavior becomes highly irrational. So, this is the phase where many men psychologically collapse. The foreigner begins believing he can save her. He convinces himself that she just needs stability, a little love, and a way out of the nightlife scene. So, the financial support begins. It starts with 20,000 baht a month, then moves to paying for her rent, funding a condo, buying gold, or sending money back to her village. Slowly, the man becomes emotionally trapped because he is no longer just dating her. He is heavily invested financially, emotionally, and psychologically. He has put his stakes in the ground. So the core psychological problem here is simple. The more a man invests into a situation, the harder it becomes for him to walk away, even when the red flags become glaringly obvious. Now, this is a cultural dynamic that many foreigners completely fail to grasp. In Thailand, particularly in rural areas, filial piety and family obligation are enormous. A woman often feels a deep, non-negotiable responsibility to provide for her extended family. When a foreigner enters a relationship with her, he often unintentionally becomes the financial pillar for an entire economic network. Now, again, not every family is looking to exploit a foreigner, but many men vastly underestimate how financial expectations grow over time. And believe me, it almost always starts as small help. Then it escalates to land, building a house, monthly allowances, school fees, and medical bills. Because the foreigner wants to prove his commitment, he keeps paying. He convinces himself that she appreciates him. And while she may appreciate the stability far more than the actual relationship, a distinction that destroys men emotionally when they finally realize it. So, once the initial honeymoon phase fades, the paranoia sets in. The foreigner begins wondering, is she talking to other men? Has she gone back to the bar? Am I just an ATM? This is where the relationship gets ugly, because many of these men have become entirely dependent on the relationship for their identity and purpose. They are terrified of losing the fantasy, and as a result, they begin actively ignoring obvious warning signs, hidden phones, secret messaging, unexplained absences, and emotional guilt tactics. Some men know deep down that they are being lied to, but they stay anyway, because losing the illusion hurts far more than accepting the reality. Now, let's face it, it is incredibly easy for people online to mock these men, but that response is far too simplistic. Many of them are not stupid, they are just emotionally isolated. The Thai nightlife system is psychologically brilliant because it efficiently provides exactly what these men are starved of: validation, excitement, affection, and companionship. Human beings are not purely logical creatures, and prolonged loneliness fundamentally alters how we make decisions. A man who has felt invisible for a decade will become dangerously vulnerable to sudden affection, even if a voice in the back of his mind is telling him that something is wrong. Run, Forrest, run! Now, this is where the conversation takes a serious turn, because for some men, this doesn't just end with a drained bank account. It frequently spirals into alcoholism, severe depression, emotional breakdowns, and total isolation. Some lose their marriages back home, their pensions, and their relationships with their children. They get trapped in a loop of nightlife, drinking, and false hope until Thailand stops feeling exciting and starts feeling completely empty. It's a quiet reality that many long-term expats experience, but rarely admit publicly. When the fantasy finally evaporates, realizing you built your entire emotional life around an illusion can be completely devastating. So, with all that said, it's vital to acknowledge that not all of these relationships fail. Some do transition into genuine, happy, long-term marriages. Some women truly do want to build a stable, loyal life away from the industry. However, the successful outcomes almost always share the same foundation. The foreigner involved stays emotionally grounded, takes the time to truly understand Thai culture, sets firm boundaries, and refuses to rush into financial dependency. Crucially, they interact with reality, not a fantasy. Thailand can be an incredible place to build a life, but only if you see the country and your relationship with absolute 1,000,000% clarity. Now, Thailand fascinates people so deeply. It acts as an amplifier of human psychology. The country doesn't create loneliness, ego, or an addiction to validation. It simply reveals them. Think of it as an emotional mirror. Some foreigners arrive, navigate the culture intelligently, and build incredible, stable lives. Others arrive and slowly disappear into chaos and escapism. The country itself is not the villain. Human vulnerability is, and that is the uncomfortable truth. Thailand is neither heaven nor hell. It's a complex, beautiful country full of intense contradictions, kindness, struggle, and harsh realities. The problem is that many foreigners only see the version of Thailand they want to see, right up until reality catches up with them. And when it does, some men wake up wiser, while others never truly recover. But one thing is certain: the dark side of this world runs far deeper than the average tourist will ever understand. The men who survive it long term usually learn one lesson the hard way: never build your life entirely around a fantasy, because fantasy eventually sends the bill, and Thailand can be an incredibly expensive place when it finally arrives. So if you've spent time in Thailand or experienced this dynamic firsthand, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy deeper analytical discussions about the hidden realities of culture, relationships, and expat life, make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button and join the channel or the page. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and ciao for now. Bye bye.